Gilbert, we continue now with our NFL division previews leading up to the draft. I know the draft is a crazy time. I remember years ago, nobody cared about the draft. I've always cared about it. I've always loved it. I always watched it round 1 through 7. So definitely a fun time. I think the draft is awesome to watch. Did you enjoy growing up?
I did, it got to a point where like I remember all the number 1 overall picks, and after a while, you forget and you kind of move on. But I think if you test my memory, I could go pretty far back. But yeah, it is a special time because it gives people new hope, and a lot of like, especially in the NFL, a lot of stars emerge from the draft. So, and even from like day 2 and on, so you never know. And by the way, Tom Brady was selected pick 199. If you didn't know.
Yeah, 6-rounder. So obviously we will continue now with the AFC West, a division that Gilbert and I know all too
Real
well.
expert here, by the way, for me.
Yeah, real experts right here. Gilbert obviously used to cover the Raiders, then the Chargers. I have been covering the Chargers, so we know this division like the back of our hands. So we're going to start off with a team that we obviously know. Gilbert, the Chargers hired Kellen Moore. In Kellen Moore's system, you need speed and you need a tight end that can block and do it all. So does it kind of feel like the perfect marriage here? And because of the history that we know with the Chargers, does it feel like it's a perfect marriage between them and tight end Michael Mayer, or could there be a surprise pick from the Chargers?
It does feel like it's a good, perfect fit there, a good marriage, I guess you would say, Fernando, for Michael Mayer and the Chargers, and they brought in Kellen Moore, and I think more weapons are better for Justin Herbert. But the more I talk to people like you, the real experts, it's starting to feel like the tight end position is a luxury pick for me because, like you mentioned, they need help in the secondary. Like you don't know what's gonna happen with J.C. Jackson. You don't know if Michael Davis is going to be playing at the same level he did at the end of the last season. So secondary is a need. Also, you lost the other safety that starts next to Derwin James, who retired. I don't know who got the curse there, by the way. So secondary needs a lot of help. And then, you talk about speed on offense. Are they finally going to add a speedy wide receiver? It's a good receiving corps with Palmer, or Mike Williams, or Keenan, but like they got to have some kind of explosiveness to it. That's what, that's why I go back to the Chiefs. They added Isaiah Pacheco, 7th round pick. And boom, explosive, another element to it. And that's why I think the Bills are going through the same thing. So you got to be a vertical down the field threat. So I think you should really explore other options. But if Michael Mayer's there and you don't want to reach, go ahead and do it, I guess.
In my opinion, just because I've seen the Kellen Moore offense, I understand why why this seems like it could be a perfect marriage. The thing also is, I feel like Justin Herbert, when he had Hunter Henry that first year, his numbers were up. He loved going to Hunter Henry, went to him at crucial. I know people say that Keenan Allen and him have a special connection on 3rd down, but that year he also had a special connection with Hunter Henry on 3rd down. And I feel like Michael Mayer is a more athletic Hunter Henry. He can make difficult catches. So I just think that this would be a solid pick for them if he was able to sit there. But I agree with you in the sense that they also have other needs. They're not a perfect team. They still have holes. They have a lot of different things to do. And that's why I think they've been quiet in free agency. They're going to wait to see what they do in the draft. And then like last year, go out and get maybe a Bryce Callahan, a Kyle Van Noy, add weapons like that. But honestly, if Michael Mayer is there and you feel like he's the next big tight end, the next Travis Kelce, the next Gronk, yeah, go ahead and grab him. And Justin Herbert and his marriage will be a beautiful one.
There you go.
Gilbert, now we head over to a place that you know all too well, Las Vegas. It's a thing of beauty, obviously, when you go out there. Gilbert, there's been a lot of flirting going around about the Raiders because why? They have beautiful, gorgeous Jimmy G at their quarterback position. He's been welcomed at different places out there. They've been welcoming him with a red carpet and everything. But do the Raiders trade up for a quarterback in the first round, or should they look for other needs? They have needs at corner. Their defense kind of needs a lot of help. So what do you think? Do you think they go they jump up and grab quarterback, or do you think they stay put and
a lot of pressure? A lot of pressure for now because Victor Producer is listening behind the scenes, so he wants to hear me out as an expert here. So for his favorite team, the Raiders, you know what? I'm gonna say no. They shouldn't trade up, and I know I have the man crush on Anthony Richardson, and maybe he's out there. Maybe you go for it, but I think they shouldn't panic. I think sit where you are, and if it's a stud cornerback like a Christian Gonzalez or a Devin Witherspoon from Illinois. I caught myself, by the way. Or I don't know, maybe I know there's not a lot of interior defensive linemen. They need help there, but definitely defense is a need. but say the board falls your way and he's right there for the taking, and Richardson, I say you do that, but I would not be mad at even if you go offensive lineman, like a Skornarski. I say it terrible, man. People in Chicago are gonna hate me, but yeah. So offensive lineman, corner, defense, you can always find something good at number 7.
Yeah, I think the Raiders need to wait. I really do think that Jimmy G could be a serviceable quarterback for a year. I'm telling you, that draft class next year, I think I like it better at quarterback. I think you wait. You start building the rest of your team. Patrick Graham is a good defensive coordinator. Give him some weapons. Bring in some guys that he could help. That he could help maybe change the game. I remember when the Raiders have Nnamdi Asomugha, while they had some corners that really put in the work. That's what you need to get back to. You need to have a good defense, and I feel like that's the way you build it. You already have Devontae Adams on offense. You have some other pieces on offense already, so I think they need to look a little bit more at the defense and try and build that up, especially because, like I said, you have a tough division with Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, and I guess Russell Wilson too. So you're going to need some guys that are going to be able to take the football away. So obviously that could, like you said, a Christian Gonzalez could totally help change that for the Raiders 100%. So I say stick to what stay where you're at.
Look at that. We're agreeing.
Yeah, exactly. Gilbert, the Chiefs. It feels like, and I mean, they lost Juju Smith-Schuster. He heads to New England, which is a weird marriage, by the way. That was I don't know if Bill Belichick will partake in his TikToks, but it'll be interesting to see. But do you feel like the Chiefs? That's kind of, and they lost Pringle. I think Pringle they had already lost.
Mecole Hardman too.
Mecole Hardman, they lost him as well. Do you feel like the Chiefs badly need receiver help, or what do you feel like? What else do you think they need?
Yeah, I wrote that down there in the banner there. I was gonna say desperately, I'm like nah, and then badly. I laugh because like it's the Chiefs, like they're always loaded, they retool and they do things the right way. But like when you look at this roster on paper, and you're telling me about this Watson kid that just resigned, and maybe he has potential, maybe he does something. Sky Moore kind of came on late. He had kind of the drops there, and he also couldn't like get the punts down too. I remember, and then but you have Travis Kelce.
It was Tony.
There you go, Tony, who kind of was still, I don't know, like he was a first-round pick, but still not really. I don't know. There's some potential there to make it work, and you got to trust the Chiefs and give them the benefit of the doubt, but it kind of feels like they need something there. But there is some time there at number 31. Like we've mentioned the names, Zay Flowers. I'm blanking right now on some other names, but I keep going back to like a speed element or even like a slot guy. And I don't know where Juju Smith was pretty good down the stretch. So I think they need that, especially because eventually, like, maybe this is my bad for doubting Travis Kelce, but he's going into like a year 11 or something like that. Like, eventually, he's like, he can't be taking the entire load here, so give him some help too.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I don't know if badly, just because it's like Andy Reid and the Chiefs just for some reason always have this wizardry when it comes to everything that they do, but I'm sure they're going to address it. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't take 2 or 3 receivers in this draft. I think they have a lot of draft picks, so I wouldn't be surprised if they took 2 or 3 receivers in this draft and kind of see what they could mix and match with. I'm sure that Watson kid is a big bodied guy. I think he's 6'5", if I'm not mistaken. So he's a big bodied guy. He should be good like that. But yeah, I definitely say that the Chiefs need some help at receiver. They also need help on the offensive line. They lost their right tackle to, I think it was I can't remember. I think it was the Bears, but I can't remember.
Oh, you're talking about Orlando Brown Jr. Yeah.
No, that was their left tackle.
Oh, no, you're talking about
but they lost
Andrew Wiley.
Oh, you know what? Wiley went to Washington, I think, with Eric Bieniemy. So I think offensive line is going to be another aspect of help because they brought in Jawan Taylor, but you also are going to need something on that right side.
Yeah, who might be a right tackle already. Maybe you've got to find a left tackle. And
exactly.
Now I remember another receiver name who could help out, who's been connected to the Chiefs, is Jalen Hyatt from Tennessee, another speed demon there.
Yeah, that's a guy that I think he's either had some trouble or something else, but I know but I mean, Andy Reid knows how to work with those kinds of players and make them excel. So definitely interesting. Gilbert, obviously we round out with the Denver Broncos. Sean Payton, it's his first time as a head coach with the Denver Broncos. Do you think he should chill out and kind of wait for the draft to come to him? Or do you think he kind of sets it on fire and he moves up and starts causing some commotion?
Yeah, I think you kind of have to, sit tight or even gain more more draft picks, because remember when you have a new regime and you want to start fresh and get all the other regimes guys out the way, like you could do that faster with more draft picks. So maybe I don't see them trading now because then you lose draft picks. And also Fernando kind of promoting a story that I'm doing at SI. It's probably going to be out by the time you see this video. I did a mock draft for teams that don't have a first round pick. So I know very well that the Broncos pick in 67 and 68. So they're in the third round. They're back to back. So they need some defense.
They'll still take it up the whole time though.
What was that?
They'll still take their whole time to,
to draft. Yeah, back-to-back picks there in the third round. But yeah, they need defensive line help, offensive line help too as well. So you could go different ways here, but yeah, definitely chill out, Sean Payton, or maybe even trade down, which is kind of still chilling out there. So to take your words there, Fernando. So don't get aggressive and trade up because you lose picks there.
They need me at the draft. They should have one of me in every single draft room. So as soon as I get annoyed, I put the air horn. I go, all right, time to select. No more BS. Don't let the clock keep on running. Like, let's speed this up. Like, you guys already know who you're taking. We already know it's I think what takes the time though is calling the player.
Yeah.
All that stuff, but get the ticket in there. Let's go. And Roger Goodell, you could lose a couple pounds. Come on, walk up there quicker. Let's get the Nikes on and let's walk him out there. So, but I do agree. I think Sean Payton needs to chill out a little bit, kind of let the draft come to him. They spent a lot of money in free agency as well. So I think he's going to let the draft come to him. He'll see what pieces he needs. Obviously, they were saying that they were trying to get rid of, there's rumors about Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton, Tim Patrick. None of that has happened so far, but I think it's because they know that they don't have other receivers. So I'm going to be interested to see if they decide to move on from either one of those guys. And then obviously they're going to need some help on that defense. The only two players that you could see that have like real talent are Patrick Surtain, Justin Simmons. I think they need more help on that defensive side. They have some other players, but those are the two that really stand out. But they have a lot of holes to fill. So I definitely think that Sean Payton is going to take his time and show out.
Remember last year didn't AJ Brown get traded on draft day or draft night of the opening round? So maybe Jerry Jeudy could happen that day because they need help.
And he was surprised. He was surprised that he got traded. So
I know Payton said like, no, we're not trying to shop our guys, but you never know because it's not really his guys. Somebody else drafted them.
And coaches tell you one thing and at the end they do another. So I mean, you already know. I feel bad when these guys find out they get traded on Twitter, like because some players are just like scrolling through Twitter and everything. But yeah, so that's been the AFC West preview. Don't forget to check out everything else. We will be covering every single division from now until draft night. So be on the lookout for those other videos. Don't forget to if you have friends, if you have compas that like other teams, send them the video. Be like, hey, this is what the compas think that your team is going to do in the draft. We appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for being compas.